try to say what the consequences are, but these are the sort of things you want to ask. If you conclude that the policy is damaging consumers and producers, you might want to ask, well, what are we doing it for? And these are the kind of things you'd want to get into. Definitely. Yeah.
All I wanted to emphasize was that I also think there is some naivety in the boardrooms of these councils, which, I mean, economics is a crazy complex thing. You have a lot of margins, that's why we say be careful, but those people, they have to do something because that's their salary to do something, to address some problems. So that's something they try to do, and they're naive in the complex consequences they cannot think of, and as a result they have some consequences. That's also a view I believe we have to keep on the table compared to.
I'm repeating your question so that the cameraman can hear, but you're saying, well, maybe people involved are naive, don't really understand economics that well. And the discussion between you and I is mirroring, you're Milton Friedman and I'm George Stigler. And Milton Friedman had always felt that, well, if we can, although less so later in his life, but for much of his life he thought, if I could just teach people more economics, we wouldn't have these problems. And so he was writing books and going on TV, and if he was in the taxi, he was going to give a lesson to the taxi driver on economics. And Stigler's view was, maybe there are people who understand pretty darn well what's going on, and this is a way of rigging the system. There wasn't a winner declared. I just want to point out that this is a traditional Chicago discussion, and we should continue it. Both sides are interesting perspectives. Yes, please.
I have two questions. One is that, do you actually know if the alderman's kid isn't there? And the second question I have is is the reason why the price is so hard to set is because, so I don't know if this is true in Chicago, but if something's mostly a public good, there's no real market, and they might not know exactly what price to actually set. So is that the reason why the price is so low?
Now you're asking, one asked, is this a public good? And the other question was about what actually happened to the alderman. No, I don't know what happened with the alderman. There's corruption, okay? There's corruption in Chicago. Was there corruption in this place on this day? I don't have proof, but there's corruption. But on the other question, this is not a public good. There are plenty of places you can get private lessons for much more than $2 per kid per lesson. And these places are very busy. I mean, a lot of us parents don't want our kid to fall in the water and drown. And it's a private good. You pay a teacher and it's a couple students, and you learn how to do your breaststroke and your diving and your breathing, and it's a very private good that people are willing to pay for. Maybe it has public good elements to it, but it has a strong private good element that it's a very vibrant, active market. Okay, so